I'd like to share with you my absolute best advice on how to start it on YouTube. I started my channel back in 2015. My first video have currently made $1,680. When I was starting, I would never have imagined that I would got to this place where I have almost 9,000 subscribers. This is not a huge amount of subscribers, but for me personally, I'm very grateful for that amount, and I have learned a lot throughout the whole process. So I'd like to share my personal advice on how I got started, what have I learned over those years, and how I would do it if I were to start again. So if you're in the space of YouTube creation or content creation, or you're thinking of getting started, this will be a great video for you. Before I give you my advice, I want to rewind a little bit and go back to 2015 when I was living in Thailand, spending time with vegans and cyclists, and I was training a lot. I've spent time with a lot of people who were into YouTube and who were into social media, and I just felt like, hey, could I potentially dive into this space? I didn't know at the time of what I wanted to do. I didn't have a clue of how to even upload a video, and I was impressed with people who were telling me how they actually earn an income. I couldn't find a lot of information on YouTube specifically for ebook readers, and I thought, hey, I love reading books through the Kindle device. Why not just kind of create a couple of videos? I've also had an iPod Classic, not sure if you remember those, but amazing device with huge amount of storage. Why don't I just create a simple video that would talk about iPod? And that was my first video. And I simply recorded how to reset the iPod Classic. That was a 3-minute video that took me maybe 10-15 minutes. I gave it 2 tries and off it went. And it was super simple, and that's actually advice number 1. Don't overthink it, just do it. Don't worry too much about the equipment you need. Don't worry too much about script, color grading, all that stuff, all that knowledge that you may not feel comfortable with. This is gonna come with time. So don't be too hard on yourself. If you have only mobile device and a simple tripod that you can get for $20, you're good to go. What's more important, I would argue, is the value that you're giving to the viewer, which means essentially, if you have a skill, if you're an expert in something, if you have a great story to tell, people will listen. So that's the main point that I would focus on. Have a couple of bullet points of what you want to talk about, put the camera, and know that the first video will suck, okay? It's not gonna be great. The quality will be poor. You will not feel comfortable in front of camera and talking to the camera, and trust me, I've been doing it for a couple of years now, and I'm still not comfortable while talking to you right now. Sometimes it even feels like I'm winging it and it just doesn't feel natural at all. But trust the process and know that the first video will suck. The first 10 videos will suck. Focus on the value that you're bringing. So that advice number 1 would be, don't overcomplicate things. Don't worry too much. Don't overthink it, just do it. Am I just quoting a Top Gun? The traction from getting started is far superior than trying to learn all those skills quickly. That brings me to the second point, which is focus on what you're passionate about. On a piece of paper, write down what you're passionate about, what are your hobbies and interests. Ask yourself, what time do you spend the most and on which tasks during the day? What do you do during your day? And this list of tasks that you repetitively do or you're interested in across the day, across the week, across the month, that's what I would focus on. These are the things that you talk to your friends and family members about, and they're just tired of you talking about them. Like, this is essentially stuff that I'm doing right now, which is, electronics, gadgets. I love photography, videography, all those things, content creation as well. So it naturally drives me to do content about it, and I'm not feeling like pressurized to do it. I actually enjoy that process. Rather than focusing the video on yourself, you're focusing the video on the value you're bringing and that you're passionate about. It could be tutorials, how-to videos, it could be an amazing story or an experience or an idea that you want to share across. And that brings me to the next advice, which is ask yourself, what would be the reason for the viewer or audience to watch your video? It could be that you're adding some mystery, some curiosity to the video. It could be that you're trying to predict something, or you provide the viewer with a problem and you give them the solution. What's important, and that's the next advice, is to establish the reason in the next 5 to 15 seconds of the video. You want the viewer to know exactly what they're gonna get within that short time span. If you go back to this video and view the first 5 to 15 seconds, you're gonna know exactly what you're gonna get in this video. What's then important is that you deliver on that promise. So you have to, throughout the couple of minutes of your video, deliver of what you're promising that the viewer will see. Another advice that I think is often missed is setting the right expectation for your channel and for your videos. Don't expect thousands of views in the first 30 days. Unless you're some genius and you create a topic that would be just skyrocketing at the moment, the chances are your video will get maybe 40 views, 50 views. This is also why I'm recommending that you don't overthink the process. Trust me, I've been in the overthinking world for far too long, and it's not a great place to be. I would rather smash a couple of videos, get the momentum going, than just spend 20-30 hours on one video. It's just not great ROI at the end of the day. If you've watched so far, I would imagine that you're enjoying this video. So if you could subscribe to this channel, like the video. If you already have some views, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below of what are your tips and tricks on how to get started. And that brings me to another advice. Have a call to action somewhere along the video. Essentially, you want the viewer to hit the subscribe button when they're most engaged with the video and when they feel that they've received some value out of it. You can ask a viewer a specific question, or maybe ask them what kind of content they'd like to see more, just so you could have an idea of what are the next videos you could think about. Once you get that momentum going and you have 10, 15, 20 videos, you will see the audience response to your videos. That will be giving you some clues as to where you can direct your channel, towards what topics, what niche you could take. So if initially you haven't figured it out and you're still trying to try different things, that's perfectly fine. It's going to take a little bit longer. You're essentially basing your content on the audience and their response. And my last advice would be just to have fun, enjoy the process. You will feel maybe that the videos are a little bit clunky, the delivery is not that great. That's totally fine. Think of it as learning new skills along the way. You're going to build a belt of skills in no time. Know that it's a marathon and not a sprint. And know that you're no longer a content consumer, but you're turning into content creator, which, trust me, is a great feeling. Another great feeling is a simple thank you comment from your audience. Whenever I see a thank you comment under a tutorial video where someone didn't bin their device because my tutorial have helped them recover it, I mean, that makes your day. It feels great, and it feels like, yes, I'm bringing a value, I'm bringing something educational, I'm bringing something useful to people. It adds to the meaning of your life, essentially. Listen, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm currently testing this type of content versus my gadgets and electronics content. If you'd like to see more of that, please hit that like button, comment down below of what else you'd like to learn about, and I'd be happy to cover it. Thanks for spending time with me, and until the next one.